Today we are going to continue with the list in Python. I can copy all of these things in here, just like this one. Just a pre-note about our start point, okay? Okay. First of all, we will continue with the constructor definition. We always give the new line to give an empty space for the examples, okay? A is equals to the list, okay? If I use this term, just like this one, this is the class name. And also, I can give the empty parentheses in here, just like this one. This is called the default constructor. Constructor is an object, or is a mechanism to create your variable with the specific address and the storage values related to a list values, okay? And if I do this, the print A in here, just like this one, I got nothing. But this creation gives us a list property, the brackets in here, okay? And so, in order to understand the list constructor, this is a default constructor, and so the constructor is utilized to what? To create a specific memory in your RAM locations. And also this A has a property of the methods or the functions and the attributes or the variables related to this class object, okay? And so we can define this one, the Ankara, okay? And so if I print this one, and so Ankara is split into the what? Into the char characters, okay? It's a ladder. And so if we say this term in here, just like this one, and also I can give the what? The length of these terms, it's a 6, okay? And so each of the A properties or the elements in here is a character, whether related to the what? The given property, okay? And so what about this one? Just remember the previous lesson. If I do this, what is the print or what's the output right now? A double dot minus 1. Just remember that this is the increment operator, and so this is start and stop variables in here. What is the output? For example, the Ayşenur, Özkum. This is the return in no. This is a step point reversed order. Just remember that this is the start and an increment. If the increment is minus 1, and so this is written what? A, R, A, K, N, A. Okay? Just remember that. And so we can split the strings into the what? Into the characters by using the what? The default list constructor. This is also called the conversion or a recreation of the another class variable, okay? So what about this one? 1, 2, 3, okay? And B is created with the list A, okay? And so what about this one? ID A is the returns to the what? The address of these terms in here, just like this one. And so what is the output of this code? Is the address identical with another one? Just now. In the list property, new list address is created in here. And so this is different, okay? Because the constructor creates the new objects based on these terms. But what about this one? B equals A. And so if I do this and B in here just like this one, and so this to address is the same because it's an assignment operator. It points out right now to the what? To A points, or the B points to the A. But in this case, A is a different element, B is a new creation by using the constructor definitions, and so we got different, and in here we got the same operators in here. Okay, this is a copies. But the another one, these terms is to code alias, which means that the both names a reference same list. Okay, it's a pointing. And so this is the first session about our lesson, and after that we will continue with the multiple assignment in the list operator. Okay, and so what is the multiple assignment? 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, and so what about this one? If I do this, what's the result of this code? These are properties of the list. Okay, first of all you need to look at this one, A 2 to 4. Okay, 2 and 3 elements are reassigned with the what? With these terms, and 2 3 and 4 is reassigned with the what? With this one. And so what about the output results? And so 1 2 and C 3 and 4 does not exist anymore because it reassigned with another list elements in here, but this one is included into the A list in here. Okay, these are properties of the slice assignment. Can change list length. This is a growing. Okay, what about this one? 1 based on this rule, 1 2 3 4 A 2 to 4. Okay, and it's an empty space. Empty list. And so what's the output of this code right now? 1 2 3 4 no, 1 2 5. Yes, Yahya is correct. Ayşenur, 4 is not included in here because this in this is equals to what? 2 and 3 elements in this. Okay, so what about this one? 1 2 3 4 5 and A 2 to 2 and 200 200. Okay, and so what's the output of this code? The first element is 2, the last element is 2, and so what is the output of this code? In this case we don't have any loose in here because we don't exist the 2 to 2. Yes, yeah, it's correct. And so this is the 1 2 and another 200 200 is added in here. It's a deletion. This is adding new elements on this list. Okay, but what about this one? 2 to 3 100 100. What's the output of this code? No, it's not an error in here because 2 to 3 we don't have any kind of elements in here. Ayşenur, good try, but you will learn. Keep continue just like that. Okay, 3 to 2 there is no indices in here because it's a slice, and so we don't have any numbers in here. Okay, but we have the first point at 3 index. Okay, and so this adds to the what? The 3 index 0 1 2 and 3 4 is added, and 200 is given in here 3, 4, 5 is added in here. Okay. What about this one? 824, 100. What's the result of this code at the last element? Ayşenur, I'm waiting. In this case, we have the error because we have 2 elements to be assigned, but right hand side has 1 element, and so this is a syntax error. Okay. Ayşenur öğreneceksin. Sadece sürekli dene. What about this one? 1-on-1. Ali. In this case, what's the result of the A? Just remember that the strings are iterables of characters, okay? To insert the whole string as a 1 element in here. You can do this. You will, Ayşenur. Print A. And so, if I do this, and so the ALI is included into the what? Into these terms as a character, okay? Strings are iterables of characters to insert the whole string as 1 element, okay? This is legal. And so what about this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and A, 1-on-1, and Ali. But in this case, we give the list possessed with the what? With these terms. And so, what about the result of this code? What do you mean? Yes, Ali. This is correct because it's a list, okay? This is a iterable but list, and so is added to the list. And so, Yahya, this is your question and answer right now? Okay. So, this is the multiple assignment operators related to what are example session, okay? So, in this case, we should look at the range function with the terms of the what. The syntax definition is the start, stop, and step, okay? This is a default definition. And so, R, range 10. And so, if I do this, we can create the range between what the 0 to 10 values in here. But if I want to print this term, print R, can return to the what? The range to 0 to 10. Because this is a special class in here. But what about this? If I do reach to the what? To the elements of this range, and so we need to convert or recreate at the least class in here, just like this one. And so this must be L 1 0 1 2 3 blah 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 at the 9. Okay, you can create your own for loop range in here. It says the range, right? And so what about this list conversion of the range and 10 to 20? Okay, what's the output of the L right now? What's the output? 10, 11, blah blah blah, 19, right? Because this is the start point and this is the stop point. Okay, and so what about this one? L is equals to the range 10, 22. Ayşenur, what's the output of this code? Right now. No, it's not an error. This is the 10, 20, and with the increment rate of the 2. And so 10 is a start point, 12, 14, 16, 18. Okay? So, if this is the case, if this is the rule, and so what about this one? Minus 2, but 20 and 10. What's the output of this code, Ayşenur? Just remember this code and this output. Yes, it's correct. 22, 12. Okay? And so, what about this one? L, list, range, 10, 20, minus 2. And print L. What's the value of this one? Error or empty space. There's no error in here because it's a slice, and so if this is a slice, so it gives an empty space, and so if this is an empty space, we don't have any syntax error, but we get nothing. Okay? Step sign must be consistent with the stop ordering, guys. Okay? And so this is also an example session. And then in operator. Anyone remembers that the in anyone? In returns to the true or false if the searched element is included for a given list in here. For example, 3 in A. What is the output of this code right now? 1, yes, but it's returns to the true. Ayşenur. Yes. And so what about this one? 1, 2, 2. This is a false because we don't have such kind of element, just like this one. And so what is the output of this code? Mehmet. In A. This is true also, right? And also print Ayşenur not in A. What's the result of these terms, Ayşenur? The last one. Yes, true, because we don't have such kind of Ayşenur in here. Okay? This the membership uses equality. Comparison are case sensitive for string elements in here, guys. Okay? So these are the sessions, and after that we will continue with another properties or the methods or the subjects related to the list. Okay, list methods. Okay, so first of all, in Python, every type, what's the meaning of the type? Type means that the string, integer, float, and list and dictionary, blah blah blah, is a type. And so it also a class in which all variables are created as a class object. Okay, which means that therefore every variable has specific method and attributes. Okay, so what's the meaning of the method? Method is just like the function. Attributes is just like the elements or the variable, can be reassigned by the programming techniques. Okay, and so if we can say that, so the common list methods can be summarized with what? Append, extend, insert, remove, and blah blah blah. Okay, and so we can use this function by reaching the variable elements by using the dot operator, guys. Okay, but how we can do that? Just give the examples in here, just like this one, the print new line, new line, new line, new line. Okay, and so first of all, the A can be defined 1, 2, 2, and 3, 3, 3. Okay, and also A. If I put the dot in here, and so we have a list in here with the intelligent sense operator in here. It's provided by the Visual Studio Code. Okay, and so append, clear, copy, count, extend, index, and so these are the functions in here. And also we have the doc, annotations, dig. These are the attributes of the R terms in here. Okay, but if I add or append any elements in here, just like this one, add data to list, we should do that. And so if I print these terms with the append of the what 10, and so we will get to what, Ayşenur, in the print? Yes, that's all. That's simple. Okay, and so what about this one? A list range of 1 and 11, and so the print A is equals to what? 1 to 10. Okay, and so A append 100, and so the R output result is the same. After the 10, we got the 100 in here. Okay, or we can add the A append any list in here, 1, 2, 3. Okay, to print A. Can do that. So we have the integer elements up to 100, and so after that we got another list in here, guys. Okay, or A extend is another function in here. We can add another list, but with a difference between that, what? 10, 20, 30. These are the integer elements, not the list right now. And so the extend can be used to what? The index elements is assigned with what? With the internal variables of these objects. Okay, or A extend Ali, say variable numbers, and so if I put this one, A L A is included in here. But what about this one? What's the output of this code? If I choose to use the append in here, what's the output of the last print in here? Guys, no, the same is not correct because the Ali is a string right now. If I use the extend, and so each element is assigned into the what? Into the list. But in this case, append adds the whole string element in here. Okay, that's all. So these are the append and extend examples. Leads to this list example session. Okay, so we need to continue with the insert and remove examples in here. Okay, so what about this one? Or what's the difference between the insert and the append and the other ones? Okay, A insert 3 and 100. In this case, the insert can enable us to do what? To give the specific index with the specific number. For example, if I run this code and show the 3 index, 0, 1, 2, 3, right? And so this 4 is iterated in here, and 100 is assigned to these terms, okay? Or if I choose the 1 and show this list just like this one, 1, 100, okay? So we can give the specific address or the index elements in here, just like this one, okay? And so what about this one? A, insert -1, 100. What's the output of this code right now? Yeah. Yeah, the last element is the 100 because it's identical with the what? With these terms, right? Len A. Okay. So if you do this, so I can give another A in here, just like this one. We have the special operator, A pop. And so, what's the print of these terms? In pop, see, the last element is removed right now, okay? Or we can give to what? The index in here, A pop 0. And so the first element is removed because it's a starting point in here, okay? Or A remove 3 and print A. See, the 3 is removed in here, okay? Or we can do this the 2, and so in the 2 the integer values of these terms is the what is removed in here. Or what about this one? 100. See, X not in list, which means that if you remove the 100, the A possessed, okay? What about this one? If I choose the 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, okay? Index of 2, A index 2. The index of 2 is 0 in here. But why? Because it's the 2. What about this one? For example, 5. The integer is included at these terms 0, 1, 2, 3, and so if I choose this one, index of 2, index of 5 is equals to what? The 3 index, okay? And so what about this one? The print count of 100. We can count the specific numbers given in this element. How many times is repeated the 100? In this case, 100, 100, and 100. We have the 3, and so this method returns to the what? The count of these terms in here. Okay? Any question? If you don't have any questions, and so we need to continue with the sort or sorting. What's the meaning of the sort? Ayşenur? Or short? Or I don't know. Yes. Thank you. Yeah. And so 13 minus 12 and 1 and minus 5 and 1, 1, 1. Okay? And so A short can be applied in here, okay? And so the print A. What's the result of this code? This code short to the what? To the lower to the bigger one. Minus 12, minus 5, 1, 13, and 111 in here, okay? But If we want to short otherwise or reverse order, we need to give the true parameters in here, just like this one, A, and so this is the lower to bigger, this is the bigger to lower right now, okay? And so this is related to the integer, but if we do that, the Yahya and Veli and of course Ayşenur and also Osman. Osman is a good guy, okay? So A short and print the shorted list for character can return with the what? What's the order of this shorting operation? Anyone? No. See, shorted this Ayşenur, Osman, Veli, Yahya. Yes, alphabetic order. But if you want Ayşenur to short the character number, so the key can be given with another function, with the len. And so if you want to do this, and so if I print the just now for the length, what's the order? Ayşenur, you just said that. And so this is the output of the Discord, the order or the functionality of your saying right now, okay? And so what's the output right now? So Veli, no, it's not an error. Veli as 4 character, Osman 5, Yahya 5, Ayşenur 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, and so the Osman and Yahya is created with this one. If you want to look at the length of this list, Veli is the smallest character number and Ayşenur is the biggest one, okay? Osman and Yahya. And so if I put the Z and Y in here just now, and Yahya and Osman is given here. First of all, we look at the length of this term, but if the length are equal to each other, Y is smaller than Z in alphabetic order, and so this gives us this kind of mechanisms in here, okay? Or we have built-in function to short. For example, A 32 21 1 4 6 6, okay? And so B shorted is a built-in function A, and also we can print the B and just see that we have the 1 4 25 32 66, okay? Or we have this kind of shorted operator in here, for example Ayşenur and reverse true, okay? And print B. Y U S R N E A. Why is that? What's the logic of these terms in here? See that the Y is the biggest alphabetic number in here, or alphabetic order, and so it gives us the reverse alphabetic order in here. If I do this, the false, and A, E, N, R, S, U, Y, okay? Or a reverse can be called in here just like this one. In the reverse order, the A is reversed given in here. But this is not a short. See? 66, 4, 1, 21, 32. Okay? Any question? If you don't have any question, we will continue with the copy example. What's the meaning of the copy? A is equals to the 1, 2, 3 and B is equals to the A copy. Okay? And so the print A and B. What's the output of this code? We have 1, 2, 3 list and we have the empty space in here and 1, 2, 3 is given in here. But what's the address values of these terms? Just remember the previous case or previous examples. Yes, because it's a new list in here, different address. What about this one? Print ID A first element and B first element. Right now, yes, but why? Ayşenur. Why? They are integer, right? And it's a literal, right? If this is a literal and the 1 is stored in the RAM or the storage unit as a 1, right-hand values. And so if I reach these ones in here, and so this is correct. It's the same address. What about this one? A0 is 100 and print ID. And so in this case we have, yes, different, because A0 is right-handed 100 value, but B is given in the what? In the B. Changed. Okay? See, Ayşenur? You can learn. Any question? So, in this case, we'll talk about the list unpacking, guys, okay? But what's the meaning of this? X is assigned with the what? 1, 2, 3, okay? And so, A, B, C is equals to the X. And now we can give the what? The A, B, C in here. This is unpacking, because X is a packed list. 1, 2, 3 possessed with the list. Okay? And so, if we define the ABC as a list in here, with each element is a new variable, and so each element of the X is assigned to the A, B, and C. Okay? And so if I run this code, 1, 2, 3 as to what? The integer elements of these terms. Okay? And so, with the same analogy, Ali, Ayşenur, Yahya. And so ABC is equals to the X, and we can print to do what? ABC. What's the output of this code? Yes. Ali, Ayşenur, Yahya. And so what about this one? Right now. Yes. But cannot unpack non-iterable object types in here. Just see that. A reverse, okay? And so X reverse returns to the what? In here, the print X reverse in here, just like this one. A, B, I'm sorry, this is a none, because it applies on to what? On the integer characters, okay? And so error. Okay? So A, B, C is assigned 1, 11, 2 2 3 3 and Ayşenur. X cannot be reversed in here because as a string character in here, and so in the reverse operation we cannot pack or unpack these variables into the what a, b, c, okay, because it cannot return to the least values of these terms. But if we can do this with an integer or the float value, we can do this, okay, because string is also iterable character, has possessed many elements in here. If in the reverse order, we cannot apply it. Yeah. Okay? This must be int. Yes, but with a slight difference, because the reverse keyword is applied on the what, on integer or the other characters in here. Okay? If you want to do this, we need to short and assign to the ABC in here. Yeah. Just keep going for the case, but see that ABC 1, 11, 12, 13, and Ayşenur is given in here. Okay? And so the same syntax for the whole variables ABC is assigned with the what? 1, 11, 22, and 33. But what about this one? In the reverse. See? Cannot unpack non-iterable non-type object because it returns to the non-type. But just see that. The print 1, 2, 3 and reverse in here just like this one. And so this is to what? None. I'm sorry. See, this returns to the what? None. And so we don't have any reverse operation in here, but in this case, just see that. Previous examples. This A reverse is to what? Is returned to the what? The integer values of these terms. Okay? What about this one? 1, 2, 3. And A. See? This A is given in here a reverse integer values. But in the first place, A, 1, 2, 3, A reverse is printed to the what? To this one. Okay? And so, what's the meaning of this? Just see that. This more clarify your examples. This cannot be assigned in here, but A reverse apply to this one, and after that ABC is equalized with the A in here or Z. So the reverse can return the none, but if I do this, the same element, Z elements, is reversed in here, just like this one. See, the Z is reversed in here, but the return values of the reverse is to what? Is the none. Do you understand right now? If I do this, this one, this returns none in here. Okay? But this one is applied because the list is returned in here. What about this one? In this case, X reverse, and so we don't have any error in here. Do you understand right now, Yahya? Yani burada aslında X reverse yapınca içindeki elementleri değiştiriyoruz biz. Ama eğer X reverse'ü direkt atamaya çalışırsanız bunun return değeri none oluyor. Yani aslında dizinin kendisi olmuyor. Okay? Bu yüzden iterable olup olmadığına bakmamız lazım. Şimdi arkadaşlar 45 dakika oldu. Bir ara verelim. 15-20 dakika sonra tekrardan devam edelim.